So now we move along to one of my favorite stories of the week. Indiana bill would force Colts to refund fans offended by anthem protests. Oh, yes. Let me bathe in that hypocrisy. So State Representative Milo Smith proposed the bill, and he said, quote, "I'm pretty patriotic, and it didn't sit right with me. To me, when they take a knee during the national anthem, it's not respecting the national anthem or our country. Our government isn't perfect, but it's still the best country in the world, and I think we need to be respectful of it." These guys have no clue about the First Amendment. They just don't know about it. They don't get it. Like, you can't propose a bill like this. You can't do it. Because this is the government trying to control speech. You can't do that. And then his comment is like, you got to respect the country. No, you don't. In fact, that's the whole point of the First Amendment, is you don't have to do that. You get to voice your disagreements. And one of the things that annoys me more than anything is the collective agreement on the right to continue to strawman Colin Kaepernick and all the protesters. Now, you don't have to agree with the protesters. You can say, hey, I don't think police brutality is a big problem. There are many people in the country who think it's not a big problem. Again, I disagree with you, but there are people who think police brutality is not a big problem. Okay, so you're allowed to disagree with Colin Kaepernick. But stop pretending like that is not the issue and not the reason why he's taking a knee, because that's what you're doing. You're saying this is about disrespecting the national anthem, or this is about not being patriotic, or this is about disrespecting our country, and this is about not being respectful. Why are you making shit up? You're making shit up. That's what you're doing. That's what that is. You're making stuff up, because none of that is true. If you talk to every single person who took a knee, they will tell you one iteration of, one version or another of, I'm taking a knee because of police brutality. I'm taking a knee because so many people in the U.S. die because of violence by police officers, and oftentimes it's done against unarmed people. We just saw the story coming out of Arizona. The police officer who executed this kid who was trying to follow his orders, who was crawling on the ground towards him. So, we should probably address that problem. The problem that we see over and over in the U.S. that we don't see in other modern countries. So how do you address that problem? You change... I would end the drug war, number one, so you get rid of the fuel that leads to a lot of these altercations in the first place and the standoffs between the cops and otherwise innocent people. End the drug war, reform how police are taught to be police and teach them about de-escalation tactics above all else, as opposed to now they treat everything as a threat and they're on the verge of going on a shooting spree and being trigger happy from the beginning of a altercation with somebody. So I would redo the training to emphasize de-escalation tactics and the drug war. There's a million things that can be done to address this issue of police brutality. But you have people who are pretending that this debate is not about that. They're pretending like, no, you just hate America. Even you know that that's not what this is about. So why are you pretending that that's what it's about? Stop fucking strawmanning people and then arguing against the straw man as if you're like, I am patriotic and I love America and you don't. No, they're not saying they don't love America. They're saying, hey, we could stop police brutality. Let's do a nonviolent protest. And then, by the way, if nonviolent protest is not what you're okay with, so you're against them when they do nonviolent protest, then what are you okay with? What are you okay with? Are you okay with violent protests? Of course not. No. Then they're thugs and they're fucking doing property damage and they're... Don't do fucking violent protests. What's wrong with you? Do nonviolent protests like Martin Luther King used to do. That's the way you're supposed to approach these things. Then they do nonviolent protests and they go, I can't believe fucking they hate America. No, that's the way you're supposed to protest. Nonviolent protest. To shine light on an issue. But you're changing the conversation. Perhaps because you can't address this issue on the substance of it, because you're wrong. And then also just the hypocrisy. You are the snowflakes. These are the same people who say, we're against the PC police, snowflakes on college campuses. They need their safe spaces from their microaggressions. They need trigger warnings. Fucking bitch-ass college kids, snowflakes. I saw people kneeling. I want a refund with my money back. You should pass a law that says that that's... So you want a law that protects your feelings, but other people are snowflakes. You want a law that protects your witty-bitty feelings, and you want a safe space, but other people are snowflakes. You're the fucking snowflakes. You're the fucking snowflakes. Tommy Lahren, who's the biggest crusader against Colin Kaepernick and the nonviolent, peaceful protesters who take a knee. She's the first one to be offended and scream, oh my God, they're doing peaceful protests. They should be fired. Anyway, I'm against snowflakes. You are the snowflakes. That's exactly what you are. And this is a free speech issue. Why is it that the same people who pretend like they love the First Amendment and free speech the most, they're the ones who are in favor of laws like this? They're the ones who are in favor of getting rid of net neutrality, which of course is an assault on free speech. This is what they care about. You know, while Kaepernick, and there are many people on the left who are trying to do real criminal justice reform to fix our problems, stop police brutality, end the drug war, really fix our country. This is the other side. The other side is pretending like that's not even the conversation. Like, no, you don't even care about police brutality or reforming criminal justice. That's not why you're doing this. You're doing this because you hate America, and I love America. I win. Please. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen.